For the ROM monitor on the Z80 board that I'm building, I wanted to have the ability to do some machine-level debugging. So ideally what I would like is the ability to disassemble code and to single-step through it and read registers. Now, without an external debugger and some kind of a GDB server and all that's involved in that, you would have to do something on the chip. And I recalled that for the system that I built back in 78 or 79, I had read an article in Byte Magazine, which was an amazing magazine at the time, and someone wrote an article about an 8080 single stepper that they wrote. The concept of this single stepper was interesting. It would even work with ROM. So some single steppers might insert restart instructions into the code at strategic places to step through the code. So in effect, modifying the code as it goes. But that type of single stepper can't step through ROM code because they can't place the restart instructions. So this single stepper in Byte Magazine did it a different way. It would copy opcodes from the actual code over to an execution area, and it would jump into the code there just to execute one opcode at a time. And for simple instructions that are only changing registers and memory locations and flags, that works easy. And for more complicated instructions like jumps and conditional jumps, it has to cook up a way to catch the possible branches that the captured opcode is going to take. But it's all there in a 2-page listing in Byte Magazine. And I recalled that I had read that way back then, and I wished I still had my issues of Byte Magazine so I could just take a look at the listing and get inspiration to extend that. I believe when I did it in 79, I had done it for an 8080, so I did a fairly straight copy of the code into some code that I was using on an Altair. And if I did it for my Z80, I probably also took the 8080 code straight because my intention back then was to program the Z80 as if it was an 8080 and ignore all the new instructions. So I don't have my Byte magazines anymore, but I searched online and found out that archive.org has all the issues of Byte Magazine online. And I searched through 1978, didn't find it, and then finally I got to January 1979, and there it was in a quick note at the back of the magazine. Unfortunately, though the text of the article was readable, the scan wasn't very good for the pages, and the lighter code listing didn't scan well at all. So it was hard to even read the comments in the code listing, let alone the opcodes. So eBay saves the day. I managed to locate a stack of Byte magazines for a reasonable price that included that issue, and I ordered it and it came in. And the first thing that I want to note is, wow, it brought back a lot of memories. As I flipped through the pages of Byte Magazine, there are all these amazing computers and boards that you could buy and little kits and whatever. And I just kind of felt like I wish that that was all true again. But it's not. We don't have anything like that anymore. Everything has boiled down to you're either buying a Windows machine or you're buying a Mac machine, or you're buying a Windows machine and putting Linux on it. I don't think there's any equivalent to Byte Magazine anymore that was meant for people that tinker with hardware. What I thought about was, back when I was reading Byte Magazine back then, I couldn't afford any of that hardware. But now I could afford it, but now it doesn't exist anymore. Yet here are these advertisements in full color advertising these wonderful systems. So it's kind of ironic. Anyways, the 2 pages that I needed were in very good shape, and I scanned them with my document scanner, and I did a little bit of enhancement because the listing still needed some contrast enhancement for me to read well. And I'm now in the process of writing my single stepper. I'm going to have to write my own code for disassembly, but I think I can use the single stepper as a basis because I already need tables for opcodes. I might as well have tables for opcodes that include some kind of string representation of the opcode. So that's a little bit about looking back nostalgically and bringing code from the past into the present.